Hello, today is Tuesday, June 27th. I'm Adam Hartog. Sitting next to me is my court-appointed attorney, Thomas Frey, and this is episode 10 of the Breaks Down podcast, brought to you exclusively by 528 Collectibles. We have an enjoyable multimedia program for you today. We're doing the breakdown, one big thing, awards, and trivia. Let's go. Okay, so housekeeping. I am exhausted because my flight got in at roughly 5 a.m. last night. The NBA draft happened. Brandon Miller went number 2 to Charlotte. I think that surprised a lot of people. There was a lot of action. I don't know if you've seen this story with the FanDuel odds, like a Shams Woj kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's actually that Shams, or I think it's actually Shams, if we're being...
Shams, yeah, it is Shams.
Shams is his, he's getting sued, apparently, because he's an employee of The Athletic and FanDuel.
Yeah.
And they're saying everyone knew that it was Brandon Miller going to the Hornets, and he was putting out fake stories to pump the lines so that FanDuel would make money.
That's
on people
crazy.
betting it. Yeah.
I actually, that was everyone's, I feel like, first thought when it happened, but I didn't really expect that to be true. So that's crazy. If that actually happened, if they have proof that happened, he would totally lose his job. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the lawyer.
I don't know about all the laws of that, but it's very interesting because I've heard people very quietly throwing shade. Usually ESPN reporters were throwing shade at Shams because their reporting the whole time was that the Hornets were on Brandon Miller, and he was the only one that was pushing that narrative. And apparently a lot of people were betting solely because of his intel, because they trusted him so much.
Yeah.
And even if he wouldn't lose a lawsuit, it's totally damaging to his public persona, to his reputation, to people's opinion of him. And I feel like he had been steadily gaining over Woj. I think just because he's cooler. I think people might switch back in terms of their fandom.
I'm a Woj guy.
I think I honestly go for both because I have notifications on for the two of them, and whoever posted first is the one that I click. But I've always liked Woj. He seems like a nice guy.
He does, a really nice guy.
Yeah, very wholesome. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Woj said pretty much for the entire timeline, it was Brandon Miller.
Yeah, that was. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out for sure.
It's a fun rivalry, though.
It is. There's not one that's comparable in the other sports. It's really Schefter in football.
I like Rappaport. I like both of them.
Yeah,
I met Schefter once.
But it's still it's 1A. No, it's 1 and 2. It's not 1A, 1B.
Yeah, and Schefter's a guy.
And it's Jeff Passan in baseball. And there's other, what's his face? Jack
Heyman?
Curry. Jack Curry is the Yankees guy.
John
Anything
Heyman
he says
too.
is gospel. Yeah. Well, John
Used
Heyman
to be John Heyman.
is arson judge. Yeah.
I think when I was bored waiting for the plane to reach the gate this morning, I tweeted at John Heyman because he said, "Looks like so-and-so is on his way here," and are are you sure?
Oh, I actually saw that, that you tweeted that.
That may have been from the podcast account, or I was just trolling from my personal account.
I definitely saw it either on my feed or on our account, but for Heyman, I think I have tweet notifications on for him because I was following his feed during the lockout, and I just left it on. He has so many typos in his tweets. It is unreal.
It's probably like reading my texts.
It's more like reading Steven's texts, honestly. He's dropping words left and right, dropping letters. It's unreal and he's a very respected reporter. So
yeah.
Just I know it's race to the scoop, but take the extra second and proofread it or something.
It's crazy because you can literally tell just looking at his tweets how fast he was trying to get it out.
Yeah, but it's also crazy because there's lines. It tells you when words are spelled wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Or it autocorrects.
Well, yeah, what reporter doesn't have autocorrect on?
I guess that could get you in trouble, too.
Names,
yeah, that could get you into trouble either way, but still.
Yeah.
Figure it out, Heyman.
Yeah. Also, Scoot to Portland. Dame is now playing footsie with a handful of teams in the league while claiming that he wants to stay loyal to Portland, to the core.
I get into this a lot more later, so I don't want to spoil
We can just focus on the Scoot part. I mean,
yeah.
There were a lot of people saying that he would have been the number 1 pick in a lot of other recent drafts. He is 6'2", so he has a lot. He has a limited ceiling defensively, and he needs to improve as a shooter. But he's a freak athlete. He has a decent mid-range game, and he likes to utilize it, and he can get to the rim. And he would be a fun piece for that team if they decide to move on from Dame.
I think, well, two things. I think his wingspan is long enough that his limitations as a defender aren't crazy. He's such a high-level athlete that he can hold his own if he just tried a little bit.
He's an effort guy.
Yeah, he is. So I don't think he'll be a bad defender in the NBA, even if he's a little undersized to be guarding twos. Every point guard is so tall now, it's probably even a little undersized to guard most ones, but I think he'll be fine defensively as he matures and just learns the game and, the rotations and everything, because it's NBA defense now is so team scheme oriented. But I like his prospects as a shooter because he's a good free throw shooter. I think he's a good mid-range shooter, not just a decent one. So anyone who can shoot in the mid-range, I think can expand their range if they want to. It's harder for guys who are jump shooters because it's the guys with the more push shots, the set shots that get all that range, the Steph Currys, the Dames. It's why I like a JJ Redick. His range ended at the three-point line. Guys who are like Quentin Grimes, I know you've probably watched a lot of him as a Knicks fan, but if you watch him, if he gets even a step further, he starts having to jump forward and it changes his form. So I just think there's that adaptation. I know Michael Porter Jr. is a guy who switches to a set shooter he switched to more of a set shooter as he got older because he wanted to expand his range. So there's always that option. But I think I don't want to spoil my lead for later, but it's an interesting move for them. It was the right move because the value they were probably going to get wasn't worth giving up a potential, I don't want to say generational, but that level of talent who could be a perennial all-star type talent.
The value if they move the pick, you're saying?
Yeah, if they traded the pick, I don't think they were going to get an equivalent value, and it would have probably been mortgaging their future for the present. And I don't think there was any move out there with that pick that would have made them enough of a contender to make the trade worth it.
I agree. But now they might be stuck again. We could save the Dame aspect for later, but it puts them. They were going to be in a tricky trade situation regardless of what they did because of Charlotte passing on Scoot at 2. Other cool things, Twins back-to-back in the top 5 is really cool.
Really cool, really surprising. I didn't see the Rockets taking Asar or
Amen, I think, went to the Rockets.
Amen went to the Rockets.
Sorry,
I didn't see the Pistons taking Asar because they have the two point guards, essentially, in Cade and Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
And I know he projects as kind of a wing because he's 6'5"-ish with long arms, but he's not a shooter, and neither is Ivy. And it's just not a neat fit. But I guess they thought he was the best player available, so they went with it. And when you're in their position where it's just horrible, you gotta just take the best player available, and because you could still move a Jaden Ivey, you could still move. I don't think they'll move Cade Cunningham because he was kind of showing out before his injury last year.
I wouldn't move Cade. I think he's awesome.
I wasn't a real believer in him at first because he didn't look great to me as a rookie, but he got better throughout the year, and I liked what I saw in his second year. But yeah, I would definitely. I think they're probably going to be more willing to move Ivy for sure, especially if he doesn't expand his range because he can't shoot at all.
No, yeah, then that was surprising.
Yeah, and then what else we got?
Koulibaly was my sleeper. He went to the Wizards at 7. I was surprised he went that high, but he has a lot of projected upside is extremely high as anybody outside of the top 3 or 4 that you probably will get in this draft.
Not only was your sleeper picked higher than you thought, he was traded up to get because they were worried he was going to be gone.
And it's kind of a good move by a new Wizards front office, which they don't make many of, and they're kind of on a hot streak with making solid moves for a fan base that is probably just thirsting for them.
I think I've really liked all of the Wizards' moves thus far. I like the Jordan Poole acquisition. He's probably going to average like 27 a game next year just as their lead guy, and I think Koulibaly's a good sort of he's probably a project. He's probably a couple years away from being what they think he could be, but that doesn't mean he won't be. Giannis was a couple years away from being what he could be.
And Koulibaly's still growing.
Yeah,
like Giannis.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you saw this, but did you see everyone on Twitter was saying that Kuminga grew like 5 inches and was now 7'2", and Kendrick Perkins was like believed it and was talking about it on First Take. It was some like fan account tweeted it, and then Iguodala responded to it like, "Yeah, I just saw him. He's 7'2", and then
just like to feed into it.
Yeah, like just being a troll basically. and on First Take, I think Kendrick Perkins was literally said like, reports are saying that Kuminga's 7'2" now, and he got so bad. Honestly, people on ESPN
they're so
all
really
the time.
dumb.
They get got by fake accounts all the time.
Yeah.
You see like Ballsack Sports, they quote tweet them and stuff. It's like, I don't understand how they could be that big and just mess up all the time.
The worldwide leader.
Quote unquote. Yeah.
Jordan Hawkins.
That was my sleeper. He was a lottery pick right at the end of the lottery. I thought he would go higher, honestly. I thought that his shooting would make him shoot up the draft board because there's just not a lot of it in this class, but I like his situation. I think he'll be able to contribute right away. Just that skill translates right away, and even if it's in spot minutes, I think that's a really good pick at that spot in the lottery.
Cam Whitmore, surprising fall to 20.
Yeah, it was surprising, and it wasn't, because some people were projecting him to go as high as 4 or 5,
yeah.
But others, all the reports were saying that he was tanking his meetings, and I just remember one tweet being like, everyone's going to regret not drafting Cam Whitmore because he's an introvert, and I know, well, we were talking off camera, and you were saying there's a lot of injury concerns, and he was not doing well on his physicals. But
that's what I heard on a podcast. Yeah, that some teams saw his knee and almost failed him.
But getting him 20 is
a steal,
an absolute steal,
especially with us, Ime Thompson.
Yeah, getting Ime Thompson and Cam Whitmore and Ime Udoka this offseason, plus they have probably like $50 million in cap. The Rockets
are good. They're fun.
They are fun.
I like Jabari Smith. Şengün is awesome. Jalen Green is like obviously a good piece for them right now. They're not going to win soon.
I think they'll be better. They're not going to win anything of importance soon, but
they could be a playoff team.
I could see them being a play-in team and beating a team and making the playoffs. The West is. I don't think there's going to be a team in the West this year that's going to be tanking. That's going to actively be bad. Because even now the Spurs with Wemby, they were the worst team in the West.
Uh-huh.
The Rockets you'd think would be improving, and they're probably going to bring in vets. I heard a Fred VanVleet rumor, which is weird because why do they need another guard? But I guess a steadying presence, and if they want to bring Ime Thompson along slowly. But
the Jazz are making moves to compete.
I don't really love that move for them.
No, I wouldn't bring in another center.
I think he's more of a 4, but either way, I think Markkanen is best served as a 4.
Yeah.
I know he plays the 3, and he played the 3 with the Cavs, and that, I think, actually led to his improvement. But and John Collins is kind of a stretch 4. He's not like a great 3-point shooter, but he does stretch the floor. It's not a bad fit, but it's just not. I don't love it. It doesn't do anything for me. But yeah, again, they're not actively tanking. They might not be very good, but they're not actively tanking.
Yeah.
The West is, other than the Nuggets, I guess the Suns, depending on where you rate them, like everyone else is kind of right there. I mean, the Grizzlies don't have Ja for 25 games, so
they got Marcus Smart.
They do, yeah, they did. But I mean, he's a good fill-in, but not.
He's no job. He'll be a great addition for that
when he's back.
That stretch of the year. Even for that first stretch of the year, he'll be like, who was that running back that the Steelers had that always used to fill in for Le'Veon during his suspensions? Was it D'Angelo Williams?
Yeah.
He'll be exactly that role.
And then
like
Connor,
4 touchdowns.
And then James Conner.
4 touchdowns through like 2 weeks. Le'Veon Bell will return from his suspension, and D'Angelo Williams will be Marcus Smart.
I think he's a very good acquisition. He's a good fill-in for the time being. But what my point was just that those 25 games, their record probably won't be as good as it would have been. So
yeah. They weren't bad without Ja last year, though.
No, but they traded Tyus Jones.
True.
And I think he was a key conductor to that. And Marcus Smart's not a true point guard, and it gets into... And say what you will about Dylan Brooks, but he was a pretty important piece, and they're not bringing him back under any circumstances.
Yeah.
So,
even if a comet is coming.
Even if he's the last player on Earth, and they need to fill out their last roster spot to stay in the NBA, they won't bring him back. That was there under no circumstances, no matter what. He's off.
Even
the
if
team.
there's a fire.
Even if there's a fire, no Dylan Brooks.
Well, keep in mind, there's a real chance that the Clippers season goes totally haywire, and they're just in a direction they never saw coming when, in November, Kyrie's out for 5 months and Paul George won't come back for like 12 weeks.
You think they're signing? You think they're getting Kyrie?
Did I say Kyrie? I meant Kawhi.
Oh, okay. You might have said Kawhi. I might have heard Kyrie. Either way, yeah, you're right. The Clippers, have not gotten what they bargained for.
No.
And they gave up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's already better than Paul George.
Yeah.
Not better than he ever was, just better than he is right now.
He's getting close.
He's getting close, but Paul George was really good back in the day.
Paul George was. Do they have the same number of first team All NBAs? I don't remember if Paul George made it with the Pacers.
I think he did. But also
I'd be surprised though, because he's a small forward, so he wouldn't have made it over like LeBron.
True, but he could have made it as a 2.
Yeah.
I didn't look, but either way, it's interesting thought is just how much his career was changed by that Team USA injury.
Yeah.
With that, which was like, like a horrible injury, but like the dumbest thing ever that they had the stanchion that close to the out of bounds line. They had, they changed everything after that
because
for international basketball because of that. Yeah.
One pick I missed. How good is Ime Udoka going to be in Miami? He's like a sick fit.
Is that how you say his name, by the way? Ime Udoka?
I think so.
It could be everyone saying it wrong. I've heard Jamie Jock, so
I'm pretty sure that's
you're
not
probably saying it right.
I'm going off what I've heard announcers say.
So I trust them.
Me too.
I think I just heard on ESPN them say like Jamie Jock.
Well, you also heard them say that Kuminga was
7-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't believe everything you hear on ESPN is moral of the story. Yeah, he's just exactly what... Because it's Max Strus is out, Jaime Jaquez is in. I think I might like Jamie Jock better. I don't know. Or Jaime Jock, either way.
It's a little too close to Jimmy John.
Yeah, he's a good fit. Really good culture fit.
The last thing I have, 2 Kobe's drafted in the first round.
This is the Kobe effect. We've already seen the Jalen Rose effect with all the Jalens.
Yeah.
So, it's probably safe to say Kobe popularized the name more than ever before.
I don't know a single other besides like Beef.
I had a Kobe Coby that I knew in college, but
Kobe. It's like Kobe Bryant, the cornerback.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous, but
yeah, it is. Especially because Kobe was still like I think an NBA champion by the time that kid was born.
It's like Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, true. You know what was a really good commercial? Do you remember I think it was, I don't remember what it was for, but it was just this like somewhat out of shape middle-aged white guy going to restaurants and like table for Michael Jordan, and they look up and they're disappointed and it's just sad, and it's like 8 different scenes of that.
I think I've seen it, but I wouldn't have ever remembered it if you hadn't brought it up.
It was really good. I think about it a lot, actually.
I like Michael B. Jordan. I'm a big fan of his.
It wasn't. It was just. It was Michael.
Oh,
Jordan.
it was regular Michael Jordan.
Then Michael Jordan.
That's even funnier, actually.
Yeah, like hostesses would and just chefs would come out
and
for, like
to
hoping
see him, and
it's just walk back in,
and it's just Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I gotta look that up.
Other housekeeping. Chris Paul is a Warrior. That's interesting because the Warriors and Steph kind of just stormed past the CP3 Clippers in line for a championship like 8 years ago.
Well, yeah, and like they notoriously don't like each other.
Yeah.
Like Chris Paul has, you know the video of him like fake laughing at Steve Kerr. There's like a lot of beef there, and there's videos of Chris Paul dicing him up, making him fall,
like kicking the shit out of him on the court.
Yeah. That's at this point in his career, I think Chris Paul he's like notoriously kind of an asshole, but if he's on your team, I think he's your asshole. I think he just wants to win, and that rubs people the wrong way when they're not on his team because he's annoying. But when he's on your team, it's like Draymond, honestly. But I think it'll be interesting to see him and Draymond interact.
If they bring Draymond back, which they probably will.
I think they will. I don't necessarily know that they should, depending on the money they give him. It's diminishing returns at this point, but he's kind of the heart and soul of the team. So it's...
Do you think if they bring him back on a slightly bigger deal than you would be comfortable giving him, there's a window in like a year or so, if the season doesn't go as they want,
that he's tradable?
Maybe to somewhere like Detroit? Is there like a possibility there because he's like a Michigan guy, played at Michigan State?
It would have to be I don't think Detroit would give up any assets to get him.
Oh, I mean,
I think it would have to be as a salary.
You would probably get him on. Yeah, I would imagine that's what it would be. I mean,
but I don't know if they would do that to him. Although it is sending him home.
Yeah, that's why I ask. And a lineup of like Cade, Osar, Thompson, Draymond. I don't know who their four is, and Wiseman.
It was Bojan Bogdanovic last year. I think he's still with them.
They have Bagley?
No. They do have Bagley. Yeah, they have both of them.
Is that a serviceable lineup in the East? Can that get you to be a playoff play-in team?
I mean, it depends on how you project Cade and Thompson. It could be, and also, I mean, who knows with the East where they're gonna be? But it could be. Sure. I don't know what Draymond will look like a year from now. I don't
know what Draymond will look like in October.
Yeah, his offense has kind of been falling off a cliff for a while now, and
the Max Kellerman Award.
That's another good one. You're just throwing out all the good ones that we aren't using. This is 2 weeks in a row.
Do you remember what the last one was?
I do.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so you're 2 weeks away from me forgetting.
All right. That's impressive. You actually. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Either way.
I'll have tangent later.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't love them re-signing Draymond, but I know they kind of have to.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I think smart money, you don't re-sign him. I think taking emotion and sentiment out, you don't re-sign him and you let him go because you know that he's not the player he was a couple years ago. But he's still a winning player, and he's still ingrained in that culture and that team and everything. So it's a necessary evil almost.
He's a good veteran presence, one of the best defensive players of his generation.
And now
4 titles wipes out sensibility.
And also now you have to wonder, now that they moved on from Poole and not him, granted Poole didn't play well, you have to wonder who the bad guy really was in that scenario. Granted, he shouldn't have punched his teammate in the face, so
yeah.
He's not the good guy here, but you have to wonder what Poole said to him to get him there, because by all intents and purposes, he is everyone else that is his teammate seems to like him. So
they must know who leaked that video. The Warriors?
Yeah, probably. I'm happy it was leaked.
Me too.
Pretty awesome, but yeah, it's not great. It's not great, Bob.
Other housekeeping, Tim Weah to Juventus confirmed this morning by the soccer guru Fabrizio Romano.
I'm happy about it. I think it's an upgrade in league. I think he shows what he's capable of when he plays for the U.S., and I think teams see that because he's always shown out when he plays for us.
Had a great World Cup. Had
a good Nations League. He didn't score, but I really liked what he did. I just hope that they use him properly and they try to harness his ability instead of turning him into a wingback. I just think he's best suited up front. But I'm excited. I think it's a good move. And I like the Italian league for players like him.
Me too.
I just think it's less physical. You're able to freedom of movement, stuff like that. Yeah.
His dad is a Serie A legend.
That too.
Cesar Azpilicueta
Chelsea legend.
Yeah, is moving to Inter Milan on a free transfer. They're releasing him a year early from his contract to let him get his desired move. He was bought for £7 million when he came to Chelsea and has played hundreds of games, has been their captain for many years. The fans call him Dave because Azpilicueta is an impossible name for British soccer fans to pronounce.
So they just call him Dave?
Just nicknamed him Dave. He embraced it.
That's really funny.
It's cool. They have a song where his name is Dave, something like that.
Oh, I think I've heard that, and I didn't know they were talking about him.
Yeah, won every title that there is to win with Chelsea. So it's sad to see him go, but he's in his mid-30s, so he's not the player that he was at his peak, but he's still really good. I'm sure he'll start for Inter. Mateo Kovacic is going to Manchester City. I'm very upset about that because he is really good, and I don't like when Pep Guardiola gets really good midfielders, even though they just lost Gundogan.
It's a pretty good 1-for-1.
Yeah, it is, and it is cool that Gundogan's going to Barcelona. I really like him, and now I get to root for him more.
Yeah, he's cool.
College World Series, LSU won. They beat Florida like 100-2 yesterday after losing like 100 to less than 2 for some reason the day before.
You know, it's I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I turned on the TV and the game was on, the LSU Florida game,
Mm-hmm.
and I must have seen the only runs that Florida scored. Because I was like, oh, Florida's good, nice, and I think they were winning at the time. I think they had just hit a homer.
Was this was probably yesterday in like the first inning?
Yeah, I think that's what it was, and I hadn't been following at all in complete honesty, so I had no idea they were getting massacred, and I was like, oh wow, this is cool, and then turns out that it was their only runs that they scored like the whole time.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is they won by 20 the day before Florida.
Yeah.
Steve Cohen is doing a live press conference today or tomorrow to address the Mets cataclysm, and Ryan Mallett died. He drowned. That's really sad.
Rest in peace, Ryan Mallett.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much we can. The guy died. We're not going to deep dive on it. It just sucks.
No, yeah, it sucks.
But
sorry.
But the Mets thing is interesting.
Highest payroll ever.
Yeah, it's crazy how bad they are.
They haven't
honestly.
been this far out of first place since June 2003.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
because
they're
their
only
rosters
like 8 games out of first place too.
and their rosters like not bad. It's the same as the Yankees. It's like on paper you'd be like, oh, the team's gonna be good. It's why everyone projected them both to be good. But every one of their players, every one of the Yankees players, not everyone, but the vast majority of both teams is playing not up to their career caliber. It's bizarre. I don't know if it's the New York spotlight is too bright on some of these guys. I don't love that narrative. I'm kind of over it now. It's enough now. Just like figure it the fuck out. I've seen enough guys come in and suck that and then go like if Aaron Hicks keeps doing well, I might have to kill someone. I can't. I don't know who it's gonna be. It could be myself for all I know. But I can't. He's hitting 300 in 20 games with them.
320, I thought.
Oh, even better. Great. What the fuck? He couldn't play at all.
No, he was not a major league player.
No, not even close. He wasn't even a minor league player for the Yankees. And Sonny Gray, he leaves, becomes a Cy Young candidate again. Joey Gallo still sucks, so that makes me happy.
That was obvious.
Yeah.
Gary Sanchez, terrible.
Yeah, he had a couple good weeks, and now back to bad again. So I just don't understand it. Is it just New York? What?
I don't know. I agree with you that the Pinstripes are heavy narrative is a little played out, but I do think like some of these guys probably just can't take it. Like Sonny Gray, I'm more buy into it because like a pitcher is different.
Yeah.
That's like one of the more unique positions in all of sports.
Yeah.
But I think like I'm sure it's a thing for other guys. Like Gallo said it got to him.
Yeah.
And like
IKF said playing shortstop got to him.
Like I'm not gonna pretend like it's not like a real thing. If everyone's being like this guy stinks, that you wouldn't be like I must stink, and then like that like you need self-confidence to be like a good professional athlete.
Absolutely, but just like they got therapists on staff.
Yeah, but at a certain point, I wish they did, but I'm just saying like I think it's legit that being a Yankee just gets to some guys.
No, it does. It absolutely gets to some guys, but it's now not just the Yankees, it's the Mets. It's two franchises that are crumbling under the weight of New York.
It's very it's just fan bases that are pretty impatient and
loud.
And it's like Chelsea's the same way. It's kind of a little there's a lot of toxicity, and like I certainly contribute to that because I'm impatient and loud when it comes to the teams I support. But somewhere like Milwaukee, you're not going to get hate if you're struggling.
No, but you're not going to get the same level of love you get in New York either.
That's true, but when you're struggling, the hate sounds a lot louder than the love.
It is, but if you win in New York, you are a legend forever.
Yeah.
Like, you think a guy like Nick Swisher, if he played anywhere else for his whole career, would still be remotely relevant? Great, very good player, great guy. I love his energy. He was very popular during his time playing. But there's a ton of guys like that you never hear about again, but it's because he was a Yankee and he won as a Yankee that he's a legend forever.
Yeah.
I just think it makes players. Yes, it breaks players, but it just feels like no one's been made in a long time, and it feels that way because it's the truth.
What about Judge? Like, Judge will be an all-time great because he'll be the captain of the Yankees for a decade.
Yeah, but Judge performs.
Yeah.
It's why, and Stanton performs in the playoffs. It's why people are a lot quieter about him, even though he's been since he's been back the worst player in baseball. But I just am tired of it. And then just stop booing so much then, or something. I don't know. I don't like it when they boo guys before they even hit.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't like what fans did to Aaron Hicks in spring training. How on earth do you expect a guy to come in and perform when you boo him before his first spring training at bat?
And then this happens. He gets out and
that sucks.
Folk in Baltimore, take it easy on him.
I don't think a rational person, a rational fan, a person who genuinely cares about the team's success boos a guy before his first at bat.
I agree.
It's like rooting against your own team. It's like I am not a Julius Randle big fan, but I root for him to succeed with the Knicks, even if it's makes me wrong, because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a me fan too, but I'm a Knicks fan probably first. So it bothers me. It really bothers me. And even now with Donaldson, it's like they boo him before he even gets up. And the guy won an MVP, and it's like, I'm sure he's trying. Don't boo him before he gets up. Let him suck and then boo him. It pisses me off.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to one big thing?
On my one, oh my God, we haven't done either one big thing.
No.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I've been talking so much. I'm all riled up.
I think I'm first.
You are first.
Okay, so my one big thing, Henrik Lundqvist is going to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, without question. This is his first year of eligibility. One of the best goaltenders of all time, and certainly the best of his generation. He was a lifetime Ranger who played for 15 seasons in the blue sweater. 5-time All-Star. His 459 wins puts him 6th all-time. He's 13th all-time in save percentage, 17th all-time in shutouts. His number 30 was retired by the Rangers in 2022. He was the reason that I wore number 30 as a goalie when I played hockey growing up. And I would go to Ranger games and just stare at him for 80% of it just to see what he did. And the fact that he's retired hasn't really set in yet, and the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame is just crazy. I mean, like you said, totally deservedly so, but time flies.
Yeah, I'm not even a huge hockey fan, and we've got his autographed jersey on my wall in my house.
Yeah.
He's just a New York legend.
Yeah, 100%. An icon of New York sports.
Absolutely.
One of the best dressed athletes of all time.
I didn't know that, but good for you, Hank.
Yeah.
We love a well-dressed guy.
Ladies go crazy for a sharp-dressed man.
Frank Ntilikina, another well-dressed New York legend. Same caliber as Hank. Frank and Hank is what they call them in the kids these days are calling them. Dynamic duo of New York sports. Yeah, I don't have much to add.
Just
New York
shout
legend,
out
happy
Henrik
for him.
Lundqvist,
Yeah. I guess I'll go to my one big thing.
Fire away.
I've got it's Kristaps Porzingis traded to the Celtics.
Another New York legend.
Another New York legend. I don't think we touched on this last episode, right?
No, it happened before the draft.
Okay, so we are very well documented as saying that the Celtics needed to make a change. I thought it was going to be Jaylen Brown. I think I was being short-sighted because it seems like that was never going to happen. But I think getting Porzingis is a good move for them.
It's a huge change.
I think it's a necessary change. I just think at a certain point people
How
don't
close
like
can
to
you keep
say,
getting?
yeah, and people don't like to say this, but sometimes you do need to change it up for the sake of changing it up. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just too stagnant, and I think him and Al Horford offer a lot of the same things, so they're kind of a one-for-one substitute when one is out or one is injured, and
one is 38.
and one is 38. Although Al was kind of balling for like better than he'd ever played for a stretch there, and
He was awesome. You just can't rely on him.
Yeah, and you can't rely on Porzingis either, so I guess the hope is that one of them is healthy. But I think he's a good fit. I like his stretchability. I like that for them. I worry that he outperformed his... I worry that he performed really well in a contract year, and now that he's about to get paid, he won't. But just because I've seen him firsthand, he's very fickle. You just never know what you're going to get from him. I was kind of hoping the Knicks got him because that would have probably involved a Randall move, and he honestly would have been a perfect fit for the Knicks, so I'm kind of sad about that, and I kind of like the redemption arc of it all, and now he's in Boston, and I inherently don't like Boston. Like, as much as I try to be objective, it's just in my blood that I can't root for them, but I think he's a good get, and I like the move to shake things up.
Yeah, like you said, it was stagnant. They certainly can look back and say that they didn't pull the plug too early because, I mean, even from when they had like IT and Kyrie, this core was getting really close and just wasn't good enough to get over the top. They were really close against the Warriors. They were really close last year, at least to getting to the finals, obviously.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is a direction change for them, and who knows if it's going to work. If it goes like they hope it can, it will work, and it'll be a great move.
Yeah.
Moving off the Marcus Smart era for them, he's been there for 9 years.
Yeah.
Very fast.
That's again another big culture shift, but this actually it leads me into another thought I just had. And this is to your credit. This is something you pointed out that I hadn't fully considered. It's that Mazzulla was not hired, but just made head coach so late into the process of basically right before preseason. And so they didn't have a chance to fill out his coaching staff. They now brought on Sam Cassell and Steven Silas, both. I mean, I don't know how Sam Cassell hasn't been a head coach yet, but he's been in consideration for every head coaching job there's ever been.
Silas
has been, although
not
a good one, but he was apparently a great assistant. I think bringing those guys in, I'm sure they brought in someone else. I think they brought in another pretty big name that I'm forgetting, but I think that bringing in two very good two high-level assistant coaches will help balance out the culture shift a little bit that Marcus Smart leaves, a little bit of that void, because they're now prominent voices, and Sam Cassell is Mr. Assistant Coach. So I just think I think the Celtics are pushing the right buttons right now. They have a little bit of a hole now, I think, unless they're keeping Peyton Pritchard, but I think he requested a trade. I guess there's minutes for him now, so maybe he won't have to.
They have a lot of guard depth. They could even move Brogdon and keep Pritchard and Derek White if they wanted to.
But that's not a lot of guard depth.
If
they moved one of them
before Smart, they moved
yes,
Smart.
they had depth to work with.
Yeah.
That's why they could afford to move it. But I still think they need another guard. Not necessarily, but a Derrick Rose would be a good fit for them. Just another.
Oh, come on, I don't want that.
I don't want that either. I'm not rooting for it, but he's just the first.
Well, I mean,
guard that I thought
most
of.
NBA GMs listen to the show, so
yeah, you're
putting
right.
that idea out there.
Brad Stevens is frothing at the mouth right now. I'm giving him ideas. Yeah, that's my one big thing.
Cool. Do you want to move on to awards?
You want to do awards first or the draft?
Oh, the draft. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Brain fart.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, we're getting cruising through the last half of this episode. Yeah, okay.
No. We got the meat now.
Yeah, we are doing the draft of, I believe we described this as siblings of superstar athletes that were either busts, not good, or just spent their entire careers just living in the shadow of their star/superstar/ very good / notable / famous / adjective sibling.
Before you got to adjective, you were just nailing adjectives, though. That was really good. I don't know how you came up with all those so fast. That was awesome.
I collaborate with Eminem.
Okay, as you should.
Yeah.
Who's got the first pick?
I will let you take the first pick because it feels right.
And because I think you know who I want. My first pick is Chris Smith. So for those who don't know, Chris Smith is the brother of J.R. Smith, who was only on the Knicks solely because of JR, because the Knicks wanted to make JR happy. He was described in a Sports Illustrated article as an NBA player only in the most superficial sense possible. He is definitively the worst player in the league, so far removed from the NBA's demarcation line that even his inclusion on the Knicks Summer League team was quite obviously awry. Which is maybe the most insulting couple of sentences I've ever read about a player, and it's so true. And I just learned this. His signing was fully guaranteed, and it pushed the Knicks into luxury tax territory. So it cost them like $2 or $3 million just to have him extra on top of his minimum salary. So it was just the most egregious example of nepotism I've ever seen.
The NBA should have an exception, like a contract exception,
just
where you could just pay someone
brother.
under the table. Yeah,
well,
brother.
like that's
a cap of like $2 million.
Isn't Adidas paying Derrick Rose's brother
Reggie
forever?
Rose, yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. But Chris Smith he wasn't even like, it's not like a borderline NBA prospect. He averaged like 8 a game at Louisville as a senior. Like wasn't ever going to sniff the
Should have
NBA.
been playing in Portugal.
Yeah, like a low-level European league player, and I think that's what he was after the Knicks. And then they cut him, and JR like posted on his Instagram story it's
a business.
Like something about your enemies are always your friends or whatever. And Chris Smith tweeted like this won't be the last of me, but like it was the last of him.
Yeah,
just not even close to an NBA player. That quote summed it up beautifully.
I knew you were going to have Chris Smith, but I told you before the episode I was overflowing with confidence that you would have an obscure one, and that wasn't it.
Okay.
So I'm still very confident you're going to have this obscure one.
Okay.
But that wasn't it. My first pick is going to be Cooper Manning.
Oh, okay. I kept him off my list.
I really thought about it, but like most of my draft picks, when these kind of things we do, a lot of them are stupid. So I wanted to have one like surefire.
Both his brothers are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, and I know they say like any sibling who had an injury that kept them from having a professional career, he was the special one. He would have been the best, and it was some chronic back thing that kept him out. But I gotta go with him at 1-1.
Yeah,
1-2.
I think he was like one hit away from being paralyzed for life.
Yeah, happens to a lot of WWE guys too. Snake draft, right?
Yeah. Saying he was gonna be the best feels pandery,
disingenuous.
Yeah, it does. There's no way.
That's impossible.
Yeah, but he could have been a good NFL player.
Yeah,
I believe that for sure. Yeah. But
so like just inherently position value alone.
Yeah,
he would not have been considered the most iconic.
Absolutely.
My second pick.
Don't do it.
Well, I don't think you have this.
Okay.
My second pick is Rob Ryan.
Oh, I almost had him on there. Rob
Ryan, very famous defensive coordinator, very famous silver, flowy, doesn't look real hair.
Mm-hmm.
Rex Ryan once quoted as saying that Rob's refusal to cut his hair was keeping him from getting head coaching interviews, which was total nonsense because multiple times, I think in a row, he had the worst defense in the league yards-wise. Rex Ryan...
Can you name another head coach with hair like that, though? Ever?
Not off the top of my head.
I'm not sure that there ever has been. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're probably right.
It could have been a fact.
I wouldn't be shocked if there never will be. Rex Ryan, iconic. Yeah. Not just in New York. I'm not even a Jets fan, and he's one of my favorite coaches ever.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Just
his cameo in That's My Boy is iconic.
Unbelievable. I don't even... I would love to get a 30 for 30 just on the approach to Rex Ryan for that. Hilarious guy. Guaranteed a Super Bowl the second he stepped into the job. Just way better than his brother.
Yeah. That's a really good pick. He was really close to making my big board, but I didn't want to go coach, but I like it. All right, so I got 2 picks in a row here.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so this is my layup pick that I thought you might have taken here, and it's LiAngelo Ball.
On my list.
Yeah. Both his brothers, sad for Lonzo, but either way, both his brothers were top prospects, top draft picks. Both were. I mean, LaMelo's still a very good NBA player. Like, if healthy, could very well be an all-star this year. Lonzo was a very good NBA player, and hopefully he's able to play again. And LiAngelo's just kind of there, and who knows what he could have been if he hadn't stolen those sunglasses, which he didn't need to do because he has a lot of money. But he's a good shooter, but he has no business being on an NBA roster. I've always rooted for LiAngelo, and I almost bought his jersey over the other guys. But he's been on the Hornets Summer League teams. He's been on their preseason rosters solely because of LaMelo. Uh-huh. And that's my second pick. Stolen sunglasses was just a bad move.
I don't think he was ever going to be that good.
No, I don't think he was ever going to be that good, but he could have. You never know. He would never have been at the level of either of his brothers.
I don't think he would have gotten drafted.
I don't think he would have gotten drafted. I think he would have had a better chance at making the NBA.
If he didn't get kicked off his college team,
yes.
I agree with that.
Yes. But I think it would have helped his development. Either way. Not to get too deep into the LiAngelo lore.
You have another pick?
I have another pick. I could go a couple ways here. I'm going to go with a little bit of an obscure one. I'm going to go with Ozzie Canseco, Jose Canseco's brother. So
was he featured in that book you recommended to me?
Juiced?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think he's mentioned because he was a fringe, had no business. Again, was not a good MLB player. Uh-huh. Played on the A's with Jose. Jose's well known for being a juice head and a narc, and being illiterate on Twitter, and also maybe most famous to people today for giving up a home run by having a fly ball land on his head.
Oh, I've seen
and
that.
bounce
I
over
didn't
the wall.
know that was him.
Yeah, that's him. Ozzie Canseco played 24 games in the MLB. There's some conspiracy theories that the A's brought up Ozzie Canseco solely so that they could get Jose extra at bats. That they had one of them at DH, one of them in the field, and they just had sent Jose up there twice. There's some people that genuinely believe that, and he is now very well known for going to celebrity autograph signings posing as Jose.
So Jose doesn't have to do it?
Yes, and there was a celebrity boxing match that Jose was being paid, I think, $10,000 to.
Is that the Barstool one?
I don't think so. I think it was a very low-tier celebrity boxing match, and Ozzy went, and everyone there was noticed that he doesn't have any of the same tattoos, and they kicked him out, sued the Cansecos, won, and so Ozzie Canseco. Just a funny one.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Do you know who Arthur Jones is?
I do not.
He's my next pick.
Okay.
He's the brother of Chandler and John Bones Jones.
Wow.
Yeah. He played 6 or 7 years in the league.
Okay.
He was a 5th-round pick out of Syracuse from Endicott, New York. By all means, very respectable cup of coffee in the NFL, but his brother is one of the greatest pass rushers of all time, and his other brother is
maybe the best UFC fighter.
By seemingly most accounts, the best UFC fighter of all time. Mm-hmm. So
certainly one of.
Yeah, it'd be hard to live in one of their shadows, but
you got both.
Yeah, that's tough.
That
would be like being a third Winklevoss that went to BU instead of Harvard.
Yeah.
I say that as BU alum.
Yes, the Winklevoss triplets.
The one who just was on the startup of Twitter, Facebook. And then I have another pick, correct?
Yes.
I am going to go with Jim Harbaugh.
As a player?
No.
As a coach?
Yes.
Because, okay.
I just think John Harbaugh's a better coach. I mean, he's been with that team for forever. He won a Super Bowl over his brother.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently got to the playoffs. Jim was also a fantastic coach with the 49ers. Had one bad year at the end, and then they just one of the true mutually decided to part ways events ever, I think, in coaching hires or fires. Went to his alma mater of Michigan. Took a long time to get that program really to where they wanted to. Beat Ohio State the last 2 years, made the college football playoff twice. I just don't think he is as good a coach.
Who has better pants?
I really like Jim Harbaugh's Walmart khakis.
Yeah.
And when I was a camp counselor, we did flag football, and one of the weeks I was the 49ers, and every single day...
You wore Walmart khakis?
I went, yeah. I went to Walmart, got 2 pairs of khakis, spent like $17 total.
Worst coach, better pants.
Yes.
Safe to say? Yeah.
I think so.
All right.
The Jim Harbaugh story.
So I've got my last... We messed this up last time. I've got my last 2 picks now, and then you have a pick?
I have made 4 picks.
So I have my 4th and 5th, and then... Okay.
Yes.
So we are doing this right. All right. There's a couple ways I could go. I'm happy we haven't taken any of each other's picks yet. I have so many. I thought you were gonna be all over some of these. All right.
I've tried to stay away from the ones that I expected you to take.
I know. And that's why I don't want to go with this one, but I'm going to. I'm going to go with all of the Antetokounmpo brothers.
All on my list.
Yes, all 3 of them. None of them have remotely been productive NBA players. All of them have featured prominently at All-Star Weekend and been on fringe NBA players for the last... Since Giannis' career started. Thanasis is older than Giannis, managed to make the Knicks. I think just like in hopes that one day he might want out. Now he's just Giannis' hype man. And you see on Twitter, everyone argues about how his value is not as an NBA player. It's just because he makes Giannis happy, and that it makes him more valuable than an end-of-bench guy, which might be true.
In the NBA, yeah.
But it still is ridiculous that he's taking a roster spot from good players, and his 2 brothers, Kostas and I think it's Alex, have never performed and have continued to get contracts. Now I think they're both playing in Greece, which is where they should be playing because they're not good enough to be in the NBA. And Giannis had the audacity early in his career to say that Alex was the best of them all, and it's just like, come on now. I don't even think he ever played in an NBA game. He may not have. He was probably on a 2-way deal, I think, for a couple years. So it's a bit of a cop-out pick, but he's got 3 brothers that are all doing the same thing, so I'm taking all of the Antetokounmpos minus Giannis.
You have one more pick?
Oh, I do have one more pick. Oh, okay. Are we going to do an honorable mention?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So then... Okay. This is... I'm so torn on this one, dude. Do I want to go with a good one?
No.
I don't. Are you sure?
No.
I'm going to go Cecil Newton. Cam Newton's brother.
Younger brother, right?
Cam Newton. No, I think it's his older brother.
Oh, he has a younger brother that played college ball, too, at Howard, I think.
Was he a quarterback?
Yeah.
Cecil's a center.
Oh, my goodness.
He went to Tennessee State, and he made a couple practice squads out of the league. He's a center.
I actually didn't know this fellow existed.
Yeah, MVP, Hall of Famer brother, center.
Yeah, that's... What's his listed weight?
He's a big boy.
He must be at least 6'5", too. 6'4", 6'5".
He's a big boy. He's 6'2".
What the
6'2", 310.
I mean, jeez.
Yeah. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for a brother. Handsome guy. Beautiful smile. And then your 6'2", 310 center.
Okay, I need to quickly consult our first live guest. Did you know that Cecil Newton existed?
No, but I'm pretty sure Cam's got a brother who's a running back at Auburn, too.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
How many siblings does Cam Newton have?
All of them.
That one's definitely not one of my...
Yeah, he's got Kalen Newton.
Kalen Newton is the quarterback, I think, right?
I think so. No, he's a receiver actually.
Where did he
Newton.
play?
William and Mary.
I feel like is he a converted quarterback?
Maybe. Either way, neither of them are as good as Cam. Not even close, but
no.
Yeah. Cecil Newton, didn't know he existed until this draft.
So my last pick, the last pick of the draft, is Florentine. I'm not sure if that's how to pronounce the name. Pogba.
Oh, yeah, he's a good one.
He is Paul Pogba's older brother. He currently plays for, and I will not pronounce this correctly, Mohun Bagan Athletic Club in West Bengal. He plays as a defender on the Ghanaian national team.
Oh.
His brother is one of the more iconic players of this generation, Paul Pogba, a French international, World Cup winner, played for Manchester United, Juventus, Manchester United, currently with Juventus.
Juventus, Manchester United.
But no, certainly one of for years one of the better players in the world, one of the best midfielders of his generation, one of the more talented dribblers from the midfield position, and skill move guys that you can find. Iconic FIFA card.
One of the most electric players of our generation.
Yeah, without a doubt. And his brother is not that.
When you say he plays for the Ghanaian national team, do you mean he played like actively, or just like
He's 32?
Has he been capped by them, or like he just
31 times.
Okay, all right.
Plays for the Ghanaian
So
national team.
yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's respectful. Good
They're
for
not
him.
France.
No, but pretty good.
You didn't take who I was sure you were going to take.
Derek Watt.
Jeremy Giambi.
He was there. I could have gone Jeremy Giambi. I had him. I guess I'll just do my honorable mentions now since we're done. I had Zoran Dragic, Goran's brother.
That's good.
Who played with him on the Suns and the Heat. Played in 6 games, 16 games across 2 seasons, averaged 1.8 points.
I had David Carr as an honorable mention.
I almost went with David Carr on my list. I had Michael Thompson, the brother of Clay and Trace.
And the son of Michael Thompson.
And the son of Michael, but spelled differently.
Spelled with an I?
Spelled with a Y, but with an E at the end. No, with an E instead of an A. Michael. Yes, Michael Thompson.
Michael Loeb Ultra.
Fun fact, yes, that's pretty good. But he played with Seth Curry in the G League before Seth was good.
It was a fun fact.
Yeah, so they were the G League Splash Brothers.
We need to have like a counter of times that either of us says that is a fun fact. So I think it's once an episode.
Yeah, at the very least, I'd probably say that at least once a day. I appreciate facts that are fun.
I have Jared Stahl, Staal, a hockey player whose 3 brothers played like 15 plus years in the NHL, and he basically had a cup of coffee.
Okay. I've got Billy Ripken, Cal Ripken Jr.'s brother,
good.
His claim to fame is actually he took his team picture that went on a card that got printed and sold, and on the knob of the bat it said "fuck face" on it. and that's on the card.
That's awesome.
So that's what he's best known for.
I have Tony Durant, who I don't think played basketball. I just wanted to give a shout out to Tony Durant.
Well known for having not played basketball, I guess. I had all of the other Gronkowskis.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I almost went with them. There's like 40 of them. None of them were anywhere near as good as Gronk.
That's a good one.
I've got Larry Yount, Robin Yount's brother. This one was just for a fun fact, and I know you're gonna like this one. So Robin Yount's a Hall of Famer, best player to ever play for the Brewers. Larry was a pitcher, minor league pitcher, made his debut in 1971, ran out to the mound, threw a couple warm-up pitches. His elbow hurt, so he pulled himself out. Never played again. Never played again.
It's just not for me.
Never pitched. No, he played in the minors. Sorry, never pitched in the MLB again.
Oh.
And so he's the only pitcher in MLB history to appear in a game and be on the record, but never face a batter.
How is he on the record?
Because he appeared. He got put into the game. He just got.
I thought he was throwing warm-up pitches only.
On the mound. He got called in from the bullpen, got on the mound, threw a couple warm-up pitches.
I didn't know it worked like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is a good one.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, that is a very fun fact. Very fun fact.
Yes. More than just a fun fact. And yeah, Derek Watt, obviously. I mean, both his brothers are. I mean, JJ's a Hall of Famer. TJ's headed that way. And Derek's just like a decent fullback. So you're sandwiched between 2 generational pass rushers, and you're just like an okay fullback. I didn't want to do it, but he was the one that I really almost went with. Him and the Gronkowskis. All of them was the ones that I was really deliberating on.
I had Patrick Weah, Tim Weah's younger brother, who plays for Liberia.
Okay. I just think Tim's not. Yeah.
I get it. It's just mostly because the flags are very similar, and it confuses me in FIFA. Mm-hmm. Because like a couple FIFAs ago, I spent a lot to develop Patrick Weah into a sick international for the U.S. and
yep, that'll happen.
I had Kevin Prince Boateng, Jerome's brother.
But he was pretty good for a little while, wasn't he?
He was, but Jerome Boateng's one of the better defenders of the last 10 years.
I just remember Kevin Prince being pretty prominent at a time. I think in one World Cup he played like a lot.
Yeah. That's basically all I have.
Yeah, that's all for me.
Cool. Want to move on to awards?
Yeah. Who was first? You want me to go first because you did one big thing, or because I got first pick? All right. So I'm gonna give out the Ross and Rachel Award. So it's to two parties.
It's two parties. Okay. Does it have to do with being on a break?
That plays into it, but it's not the most prominent.
It's more just like the will they, won't they?
That is exactly what it is.
Okay.
That is exactly what it is. In fact, that was my exact thinking, is the will they, won't they.
Is it Draymond and the Warriors?
No. I'll give you another guess. We talked about them pretty prominently already.
Oh, it's Dame.
Yeah,
it's Dame and the Blazers.
and the
okay,
Blazers.
yeah, okay.
This is why I didn't want to get too into it, because I genuinely believe that both parties love each other. I really do. I think Dame loves Portland and being a Trailblazer. I think they love him there. I think it's just time to make a decision. You can't... It's not... It doesn't... I don't think it affects Dame's legacy either way. I think him going...
Point, I agree.
If he goes and wins a championship with another team, he's a ring chaser. If he stays, then people are going to say he doesn't care about winning. And we both know that's not true. Everyone knows that's not true. People who say that are idiots. It's just now... Portland is straddling two timelines. They have a youth movement, a very good youth movement, and they have Dame, who has said he doesn't want to be a part of that. They can try to do both, but they really can't do both. It's just time for the will they, won't they to end and for them to make a decision. That's all it comes down to.
If Golden State can't balance like all-time veterans with a youth movement, who can?
That is the exact scenario that like Portland should use as a demonstrator that they can't do it. And they have much less carte blanche with everything than the Warriors did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first award.
Okay. My first award is the Give Me My Ring Award.
Okay, so this is going to a player who is... Okay, so I'm torn between two things. It's either going to a player who... Is it going to Bones Highland?
It's not going to a player.
Okay. All right, never mind. I thought it was going to a player who gets a ring but is no longer on the team. So
like
that was
the name on the cup kind of thing.
Yeah, like because I think Bones gets a ring for playing on the Nuggets. But,
I think so.
Okay,
no,
so not going to a player.
It's going to a school.
A college? LSU?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that has essentially they have taken control of the Give Me My Ring celebration while tapping the ring finger.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow did it during the national championship against Clemson. Angel Reese did it in the national championship, the women's basketball national championship.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the baseball players for LSU, whose name is escaping my memory, did it in the game last night when they had it totally in control, up by 14 in the ninth inning. I think if you are prominently photographed or videoed doing it in 3 championship-winning situations, that's just your celebration.
Yeah.
I don't think any other school can do that anymore.
They can try, but then everyone's just going to be like, that's LSU's. Give it back.
They have the award.
Has LSU ever won a basketball national championship?
Not that I know of, but they did miss the tournament with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how far did they get with Shaq?
I don't think they even got that far. I could be wrong. That was
all
before our
Lakers,
time,
dude.
So it's...
Right?
Yeah, I think they might have had a little bit of a run, but I don't think they definitely didn't win. But I'm just thinking because they had two of the best players of all time in Shaq and Pistol Pete, which is just interesting for a school that is not known as remotely being a basketball power. But yeah, that was just my thought. All right, my next award. You ready for it?
I am ready for it.
It's the I Just Can't Wait to Be King award.
Okay, so this is going to not a prince, but somebody that is waiting to take over as like the alpha dog in whatever like environment they're currently in.
It is someone who was waiting and is now going to be the king of their new kingdom.
Oh, I like this. Okay, this is well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole?
Yes.
Nice.
It is Jordan Poole. He's going to be the guy. And you have to think, I mean, you saw in the playoffs, he pulled that deep three instead of giving the ball to Steph when he should have.
Yeah.
I mean, objectively, it wasn't that bad of a shot because he had a look and he's a good three-point shooter. But either way, it's now it's his turn. He's got the keys. He's probably going to put up a million shots. Sink or swim. We'll see if he's able to do it. But he wanted the keys, and now he's got his chance. And not a lot of guys.
Deal.
Yeah, and not a lot of guys, though, like him, get this shot to be the man. You know what I mean? It's not often that you are the second fiddle on a team like that. It's like James Harden, basically. I mean, I don't mean to say that he's going to be like James Harden, but it's James Harden was the sixth man on those really good Thunder teams. And then he got a shot, and Chris's buddy Carlos famously proclaimed that Harden would never average 20 points a game.
Oh.
Yeah. Really bad bet. And so I think Poole's probably going to average at least 25 next year.
It's like Brunson, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. It's second fiddle.
On a better team. Better Brunson is on a better team.
Yeah. It's, or like, I don't even know, like Zach LaVine maybe when he went to the Bulls. Either way, I think it'll be fun to watch him just take over. I think he's got that kind of game. So, yeah. Cool. Good guess.
Thank you. My second award is the Nikola Jokic Award.
This could go so many ways. Okay, it's obviously not going to Nikola Jokic.
No, it's obviously not.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that obvious, but clearly it was.
It is. If you gave Nikola Jokic the Nikola Jokic Award, I would be upset, I think. Okay, is it what sport?
Ice hockey.
Yeah, okay, God, the Nikola Jokic. Is it Connor McDavid?
Yes, it is. Can you guess the reason?
He's the best player in the league?
No, close.
Damn it. All right. Well, I got that's probably the only hockey player I could have ever guessed.
It is going to a player who very obviously deserved to win their third MVP award this year, which McDavid picked up last night.
Okay.
Set, not a record, but had 154 points, I think, which was the most since Lemieux, maybe Gretzky. Just crazy stats. He's the best player in the world. Rue and I were talking about this in the car on the way here. It would not be shocking, almost be expected if he picked up another 3 MVPs in his 20s. He's 26.
Would you, bear with me here, would you give up a finger for McDavid to be on the Rangers? You can pick which finger.
Down to the knuckle?
You want to keep the nub? You can keep.
Can I get rid of my ring finger down here, and I get a ring when they win? That is takes up the whole finger.
You got to buy the ring.
No,
I can't provide you.
I want the team to give me the ring for doing this.
You have to work that out with them. I can't agree to those terms. You want me to negotiate that with them?
Yes, I was gonna say.
Sure.
We'll get back to you.
Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. You can.
Get the ring.
You can get the ring on your nub.
How long do I have to say goodbye to the finger? Is this like they're
you don't get to keep it? What do you mean? You can look at it. You don't get to put it back on.
No, I know. How long do I get to make peace with losing it?
Oh, like how you don't right this second? I think you can make
your hedge cutter.
You have until the start of next season.
Probably, yeah.
Game 1 though, that finger's gone.
Problem is though, there's other athletes that I would do that over. Like if I'm
to get them on the Rangers?
No, to get them on other teams that I'm a fan of. Like I
like who? Like Ohtani to the Yankees?
I mean Mahomes to the Bears.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's probably number one.
Yeah. You'd give up a finger to get Mahomes to the Bears?
Yeah, I mean if I could.
You get the ring?
I would if it had if I was presented with this like 4 years ago, then I probably would already have a ring.
Yeah, probably.
So,
I don't think I'd give up any fingers.
Toes?
I'd give up a toe. Whatever
Shoulders, knees, head?
I'm keeping all those parts. But I'd give up a toe, not a finger. I've already got too much hand damage. I don't I've done it, been there, done that. I'll give up a toe. Which one's the least important? Pinky? Yeah, you don't even need your pinky.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of a pinky though to get like. Who do I even want? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but no, it's probably got to be like. It's probably got to be like.
What about
Steph to the Knicks or something, or
Mbappe to the U.S. men's national team?
Yeah. Or
would that do it?
That would do it. Yeah, for sure. Or it's who's like Ohtani to the Yankees, but like not even really. It's got to be.
I don't know if baseball's toe worthy.
Oh, like
for
I
one
could get
player.
like Jokic to the Knicks.
Yeah, that would be a good one actually.
Yeah, Jokic to the Knicks. But Ohtani's also kind of two players.
Tokic.
So I'm kind of cheating there. I saw something today, not to get off the rails here, but that Ohtani's worth $300+ million as a batter and $200+ million as a pitcher. Just alone, separately, if he was each of those players, that's how much he'd be getting.
That's crazy.
So he's going to get $600 million.
Jeez.
Not by the Yankees. They're not paying him.
No, probably not.
No way.
So my second award, is the Nikola Jokic Award for the player who should have won / deserved to win / was the easy pick for their third MVP, to Connor McDavid, who won his third MVP last night.
I like that. I can't believe I guessed it, but I think you had to give me the only NHL player I would have guessed. I don't know many. I know Tavares. Is he still any good?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
You know your boy Keandre Miller?
Yes, I do. My favorite hockey player.
Jesper Fast.
Yeah, but I don't even. What is he even on a team anymore?
Yeah, I think
that's
he's
just
still in
because Chris
Carolina.
liked him for God knows what
Doesn't
reason.
matter.
Yeah, either way, you're right. I know a couple. I know
Igor.
Igor. Yeah, I just like the chant. I know Igor. I don't know.
Remarkable run by the Rangers for having these generational 2-syllable goalies.
Yeah.
Henrik. Igor.
I think I like Igor more as the name, not as the player.
Igor's good.
Igor's really good.
Yeah, it's opposing too.
Yeah.
Trivia season.
Yeah, trivia. I forgot we had trivia. I'm excited. I didn't want this episode to end just yet. I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah.
All right. So this is through 2023 the top earnings for all NFL players.
This is
of
next
all
season.
time.
Oh, of all time.
Of all time.
Okay, is Rodgers one? This is per season?
No.
Or,
of
career
total
earnings.
career earnings.
Okay.
Yes. And I kind of want to go 1 through 10 just because it's fun,
Okay.
but we don't have to. We can do.
Is Mahomes in the top 10?
No.
So this isn't like money signed for then. This is
No,
how much
no.
is
Mahomes is
deposited
full.
in your
Yeah,
bank account.
Mahomes' full contract
Okay,
is not.
Manning's, both of them.
They're both in the top 10. Yes. Yeah, 8 and 9.
Big Ben,
Big Ben is 6,
Phillip Rivers.
10. So you have 6, 8, 9, and 10. And you said Rodgers, right?
I did say Rodgers.
I'll give you Rodgers. He's
I
3.
thought I was guessing per year salary cap hit next year, but
Either way,
Rodgers.
I'll give you Rodgers. 3.
Is Russ, because he got a ton of guaranteed money?
Yep, Russ is
My
7.
Goodness.
Russ is 7. So you've got 7, 8, 9, and 10,
My
and 3.
goodness.
Yeah. There's one on here that's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
He just doesn't belong on this list.
It can't be like Kaepernick, right?
No.
not a huge deal.
Kaepernick's not. He's nowhere near. Sam Bradford's 23rd though, 130 million.
Good for Sam Brad. Oh, Kirk Cousins has to be up there.
Kirk is 11. Yeah. You got. Oh, actually,
Stafford?
you have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, Stafford is 2.
Holy shit. Stafford's 2? Good
Yeah,
for him.
328 mil. He'll actually be 1.
What, at the end of his Rams contract?
Yeah.
Wow, good for him.
Well, I guess Mahomes will surpass him eventually, but he will surpass who's in first, who I can't believe you haven't guessed.
I know. Is it Brady?
It's Brady. Brady's number 1.
I just didn't think he would be that high because he always took like team-friendly
Yeah,
deals.
20, 23 years.
Thing.
Yeah, 23 years is
Yeah.
a crazy
Those
long
paychecks
career.
add up.
Yeah.
It was dumb of me to not think he was in the top 10, let alone top 1, I suppose.
Yeah, you're missing 4 and 5. That's it. You got everything else. You actually also have 11, but
They're both quarterbacks, right? They have
yeah,
to.
both quarterbacks. The closest non-quarterback.
Carson Palmer?
No, but he's 15. I mean, even Matt Schaub's up here. Damn, Matt Hasselbeck made a ton of money. Played for a long time. It's a big one. He's one of the best quarterbacks of our time. Is one of them. Won a Super Bowl.
Joe Flacco?
No, but he's 14.
Drew Brees.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
that's 5, and then 4 is an active player. He's the one that doesn't belong.
Did I guess Matty Ice?
You didn't, but that's who it is.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, he's 4.
I know he signed a huge deal with Atlanta.
Yeah, he's 4. And okay, so I kind of just wanted to get into the rest of the list. The top 10 is like, with the exception of Matt Ryan, like who you'd expect it to be. But 12 is Tannehill. Oh, this was sorted by quarterback, which is fine. But it might not. There might have been some others in there.
I doubt there's too much.
Yeah,
like,
it probably doesn't
variation
change too much.
in the
but,
top 10.
Yeah, but so we'll just go quarterbacks now either way because we already did it. But Tannehill's 12. Alex Smith is 13. Yeah. Flacco's 14. Carson Palmer 15. Carr, Dak, Goff, Jimmy G, Deshaun Watson, then Brett Favre, which is fun.
That is, yeah.
For his time, like when he played, given that salaries weren't what they were now, it's pretty cool that he's still kind of up there.
All those guys owe TV deals a lot of money.
Oh yeah, Bradford 23, Wentz 24, Romo 25, Cutler 26, then Mahomes. So I'll check.
There's quarterbacks over Mahomes.
Let's see if it'll give me all positions. This is one of those where they sometimes make me pay for stuff. Spot Rack, they just like throw random stats behind a paywall and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I like the website though. Over the Cap's good for football too.
Yeah, but they were giving me weird stuff. It was like cap hit versus like some random dollar.
Guaranteed
Yeah,
salary or something, yeah. Or like pit money.
the top 10, honestly, nothing changes. Larry Fitz is the highest though. He's 14th. Ooh,
Non-quarterback.
Yeah, 15th is fun though. He's a defensive end still playing.
J.J. Watt.
No, retired.
Aaron Donald.
No,
Khalil Mack.
nope,
JPP.
no,
Chandler Jones.
nope. It's you.
Sue is not a defensive end.
No, Sue is 19th though. Oops.
Defensive ends.
Signed a big deal last offseason.
Oh, Von Miller.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Bigger
cool.
than it probably should have been at his age.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a pretty massive overpay.
Over 100 mil, I think, right?
Yeah, which like he's
He's
like,
really good though. He's
He
not
is.
as old as you think.
but he's older than you give that long of a deal to.
How old do you think he is?
33,
Yeah, I think he is 33.
which is like not young for a pass rusher.
It's not, and he's coming off a knee injury too, but
Oh, I guess I kind of tripped you up because he's an outside linebacker. That's on me.
it's all right.
They're kind of they're I should have just said pass rusher.
He does it all.
34
Turned 34
in March.
Okay. New calendar year.
But yeah, that's all I got for trivia. That was good. I thought Matty Icicles would give you a harder time, but
It did. That was the last one I got.
yeah, you got it pretty easily though. I think it would have tripped me up. I forgot that he signed that massive deal with Atlanta.
Yeah. Before the Super Bowl appearance, I think.
Was it really?
I think so. At least one. Maybe he signed 2.
Before we end. Right, I mean, it's not like he's going to do anything else. Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
Well, probably, yeah. Not first ballot.
Not first ballot. Is
Won an
Eli
MVP.
first ballot?
I would like to think Eli's. I'd like to think that if Eli isn't a first ballot, he's one of the longer deliberation processes that they go through.
I think he's not an unquestionable first ballot,
That's what I'm saying.
but I think he's such a lock
for the Hall of Fame.
that he might as well be. That you should.
Formality. It depends who
Yeah.
else is on the ballot.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
they don't. I don't think they have a maximum. So
MLB does, but I don't think.
Yeah, the MLB's maximum is 0 sometimes. So.
Yeah, MLB's really stupid with it.
Um,
I was.
So yeah, I'll give Eli first ballot.
Okay. And going through all of this research for this episode, I was going through all like the trash MLB players that are in the Hall of Fame, and it's just like they just like draw random lines in the sand for who gets in
It's
and
a
who
joke.
doesn't.
The
It is.
MLB
It
Hall
is
of Fame is a joke.
literal nonsense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got our beef with the MLB Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Officially
Well
podcast
known.
declared beef.
Enemies-
Not with Murder Inc.
Not
Just the MLB
no.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, Murder Inc. is
We don't want to inherit 50's
no,
beef with them.
no. We're not involved. We do love 50, but not that much. All right.
Good show.
Good episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, whatever. 5 stars, good reviews, good comments.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I hope Declan Rice doesn't go to Arsenal.
See you next week.